All right. It looks like we kind of like capped out on viewers, so I guess we'll just get right into it, shall we? We're going to do hit scans first. Kind of like the same things apply if you were there for the last stream or you watched the last VOD, wherever you're watching this. Going to put people who didn't play that much and not enough playtime because I don't feel comfortable judging them. I'm rating everyone off of the overall season, and we'll go from there. All right. And what a banger way to start off with Carpe, huh? You love to see it. I am a bit biased with Carpe personally. I know some people thought he was a little overrated, and I totally get that. But if you go off the overall season, I feel like because he had like a MVP-like season, I feel like I need to put him S tier, just out of respect. I think A is also really fair. But I'm going to put him S because I'm a big Carpe guy. I always have been. If you watch my content, you know I stand this guy. I love me some Carpe. Absolutely nutty player on just about everything. He's not number one, but I think you have to consider him top tier after the season he had. I know it ended kind of shaky, but just looking at the season as a whole, he's one of the best players at his position, no doubt. What's up, Cabal? Tracer, I think that some people kind of underrate that a little bit. His Widow is obviously insane. His Ashe isn't bad at all, really. Everything he plays is really solid, like that he ended up having to play this year, really. Can't really complain with how Carpe played. He was pretty consistent, I would say. Really good McCree as well. He's one of the best at like getting picks in the clutch, too. He's so good at everything. It's a shame that Philly couldn't win any sort of tournament this year. Oh well, though. Glad he did get some recognition, at least in the MVP race. Hello, YouTube. My name is Jack, and I'm a goated analyst. Carpe was the best McCree and easily the best Hitscan player. Second best McCree besides Exy? Perhaps. Oh yeah, he's a really good Torb too, but like, it's just Torb. I don't really value it that much. So now we're going to talk about Leave, who I think picked it up a lot, like, during the summer, like, late summer, once the meta started to transition more into that Chengdu favored stuff. You could tell that his play started to pick up a lot. He had a really nasty Ashe in particular. I thought he was all right on everything else he played too. Pretty good Sombra. I think you have to give him at least a B. Like, probably not A, simply because there are a lot of times where he couldn't get anything done. Not entirely his fault, but like, you could tell he kind of wasn't at the top of his game for various reasons because his teammates were struggling. He was maybe struggling to a certain extent. I think like high to mid B is really fair for Leave. I'm expecting him to have a bounce back year next year because Chengdu are looking a lot better. Sharp. Sharp played enough, I guess. He played during the playoffs. There are like a few other times where he played. Had a pretty good looking Ashe. How much did Sharp play, chat? Sharp, I think I'll just put him not enough playtime, because I'm seeing a lot of you say it's not fair to rate him, so I'll go with not enough playtime. So that leaves us with Lip. And Lip was a very consistent player on Shanghai. I think they depended on him a lot. Oh, I see Trap in here now. Hello, Trap. I think A tier is where I'm going to put Lip, because they depended on his Sombra so much, and it won them a fair amount of games. It was a little inconsistent and shaky at times, but still one of the best in the league, no doubt. I think his Ashe was pretty underrated. His Widow could use some work, but he can hang in there with like some of the decent Widow players. So I think all in all, that gives him somewhere in the A range. I think that's really fair, in my opinion. Like, mid-A, high A, if you're feeling generous, I guess. That's where I would put Lip personally, though. S. A lot of you... Oh, yeah, he does have a good McCree as well. I personally don't think he belongs in S tier, but some of you definitely will, which I totally get. Baby Bay. I know some people are going to yell at me because he's retired, but he played a fair amount for Atlanta before deciding to call it quits and go Valorant. And I honestly thought Baby Bay was pretty good when he played this year. I thought, this is just my opinion, of course, that this was his best year in the league that he's ever played. I was very happy with how Baby Bay performed this year. He was a true veteran on the McCree and stuff like that. So, I actually really liked his Ashe too, so I'm going to give him B. Maybe not as good as Leave, but he belongs in B tier in my opinion for how he performed. B for Baby Bay. Exactly. B for Baby Bay. Is that Bacon Jack? Oh my god. I guess I rank Bacon Jack, because Chengdu liked to utilize him a lot on like those sniper heavy maps or sniper heavy compositions. Like he played a lot of Junkertown and stuff like that. Wasn't anything special, but I'll give him a C. Why not? I don't have much to say because he played a lot less than the other Chengdu DPS, that being like Jinmu and Leave. Pretty nice on McCree. Bacon Chad. Yeah, he was pretty inconsistent. Who do I think the Spitfire will promote from British Hurricane? I haven't really been keeping up, to be honest. I'm sure there's a bunch of people in chat who could tell you that, because they have the inside knowledge that I haven't really been paying attention to. It's IDDQD's birthday? Sweet. Alright, Linkser. Sorry, Outlaws fans. I'm sorry I have to do this to you, but he's way too inconsistent. I have to put Linkser in D tier. It's not even that he's like the worst. I honestly thought Linkser didn't play too bad this year, but the inconsistency combined with like all of the amazing hit scans this year, I feel like you have to put Linkser like D or low C at best. He just didn't have that great of a year compared to some of the other hit scan players in the league, if not most of them. C for his hot streaks. He did have good hot streaks. Move Baby Bay up A tier. I don't know, man. Linkser C, too inconsistent. I'll leave him D for now. I'll do my traditional look back over and make last moment adjustments at the end. So, wait, who is this? This is Godsby. B for Godsby. I'll put Godsby like somewhere around here, I guess. Maybe below Baby Bay. I have to think about it. What are you guys saying? Godsby deserves high B. B, A, B. Like, I think Godsby deserves a bit more credit than he gets, to be honest. Because I think that he plays a style that's like not so much like carry oriented. I've talked about this on the channel before. It feels like he's really good at just like dealing with enemy snipers, just like countering them, pressuring them a lot. I really like his playstyle quite a bit. I might even put him above Leave, to be honest. I probably am. I like that a bit more. He's like on the cusp of almost making A. B for Godsby for now. Hi, Toucan. Godsby is one of the most underrated DPS players in the league. I think that's a really good take. I kind of agree. Spark kind of like didn't get as much attention as they should have because they're really inconsistent in the APAC region this year. So soon. I think he's another B. I'm going to put soon like slightly above Baby Bay. Or maybe below, above, sure. I thought soon was pretty solid. Seeing some A's. I don't know if I'll put him A. I don't know how I feel about that, but I thought soon was really, really good. Like, Xe was like the main star of the show, but whenever Soon had to step up, whether it be through Xe's like recovery where he wasn't on the team, or when they'd put Soon in for the control maps, he always came up to play. He always stepped up big time, and I was really, really proud of him for that, because I was a little worried like his consistency might fall off a little bit, like maybe he'd have less confidence in himself because Xe like just took a starting job right from the beginning, but there was no such thing. Soon played really well this year. I think Soon is low B or high C. Interesting. Oh, is that who this is? Babel? I completely forgot about Babel. He barely played. Like, there are times where London Like, at the beginning of the season, London played him. Then he, like, took a long break, I feel like. And then he came back and played a bit more. He was weird. I liked how he played, but it didn't really help London all that much, I feel like, in their games. He showed a lot of potential, definitely. And I definitely would put him above Bacon Jack. Do I think he qualifies for B, though? He's a really good Widowmaker. No doubt. Just because, like, I feel like I didn't get enough of him, I'm just going to put him high C. Like, if he played a bit more and he proved himself, maybe low B. I'm pretty comfortable with him being a high C, though. Just because of, like, the lack of experience and all that. High C tier needs more time in tendies. Where's Dalton? I think Dalton's, like, he was technically more of, like, a flex DPS. Is he on the... He's probably on the flex. I mean, if he was on here, if he was on the Hitscan, he'd probably be, like, high C, low B, I guess. Yeah, Dalton played flex. Yeah, Moonshop, a.k.a. Trap, he made these tier lists, so listen to him. Is that Saya player? Oh my god. Pepe hands. I'm probably just going to put Saya on not enough playtime because he really didn't play all that much. Damn, I missed that guy. I hope he's doing well in Valorant. I haven't really been paying attention, but I really miss him because he's such an explosive player. Easily one of the greatest counter snipers to ever touch this game, and it's not even close, but BQB was the guy. Can't really judge Saya player this year, sadly. Saya not like this. Yeah, he played like 5 maps. I really, really wish he got to play more, but life is cruel sometimes. Logix. Logix was kind of weird this year. I thought he kind of like picked it up more towards the end of the year, but earlier on, kind of just all over the place. Like, kind of hot and cold like Lynx in a way, maybe a bit more consistent. Like, there are times where we'd see him like kind of keep up with Exy, like in that opening game on opening day when they played Paris. But then there are other times where you just couldn't feel his presence at all. Logix was a pretty weird player to watch. I'd probably give Logix a C. Maybe like here. I don't know. He had more hot streaks than Lynxer, I feel like. But like a similar caliber player, but with just a little bit more consistency. Yeah, I'm putting him above Babel just for, again, the simple fact that I didn't get to see enough of him to properly judge. And this is Suna, right? Suna. Not enough playtime. Or maybe actually... Because he played like those first, what, like 4 games for the Titans or whatever it was before they got Shockwave. How many games was it? How many games did he play before Shockwave came in? I remember 2. I know at least 2. Not enough, not enough. 3 or 4. I guess we could rank him. But did he play more than Sharp, though? If he didn't play more than Sharp, I should probably also put him in not enough playtime, no? He played roughly 4 games. Suna was really bad before he got supplemented by Shockwave. Sharp played more? Okay, I'll put Suna not enough playtime then. I mean, even if I did rank him, he'd be D tier anyway. But I'll put him not enough. Sure 4. Kind of just like rinse and repeat with Logix. Like, no difference, really. It felt like I was watching the same thing for the most part. Maybe slightly more consistent, but not like this crazy noticeable difference, you know? I thought he was like, all right on the times he did play, but his mental was kind of all over the place. His love for the game wavered as the season went on. Just wasn't that pretty. But when he did play, I thought Toronto had like a slightly better direction than when he wasn't there. Maybe just my opinion, maybe a hot take, but that's what I think. Surefour will do well with a break. I don't really know, to be honest. His career might just be done in general, even if he does decide to, like, compete again. Aunts. I already see everybody saying Aunts. You know where to put him. I mean, that's just obvious, I feel like. In my opinion, like, it took me probably more time than I should have to realize this, but he was probably the best sniper in the game, no doubt. Like, just the Widow, no doubt the best in the league, if you ask me. The most consistent. He could play a mean McCree. He could play a mean Ash. He was statistically, like, at the top on pretty much every single thing he played, maybe except for, like, Sombra, but even that wasn't the worst. So I'd say you have to give him S tier. Yeah, some people say Carpe's better, but I thought Ants was a little bit better, personally. A bit more dominant, if you will. Yeah, I agree. Ants was... He did learn a couple characters pretty quick. Bacon way too high. He's only low C. Carpe was better at everything other than Widow. It's close, honestly. I think it's closer than you might believe. I mean, that's just my opinion, though. I just thought Ants was a bit more dominant when he played. Maybe it's because he played for the Shock, but that's my opinion on it, at least. Fusion fans mauling. DM is better because he beat Ants in the Widow 1v1. Ah, yes, of course. Okay. Enough about Ants. You guys get the idea. Edison. Edison's an A tier, no doubt about it. Probably the best player on the Atlanta Reign this year. I think it's hard to really debate that. He was really good. And I feel like as the season went on, he started to carry more and more and more. Really solid Tracer. I liked when he broke out the Widow here and there. I was very happy with how Edison performed. I remember he had a pretty dominant showing when he first came into the league, like his first game when Atlanta finally decided to give him some play time. And he kept on showing more and more promise as the season went on. So I feel like A is pretty reasonable for him. Nene. You think Nene was actually very good when he played, but wasn't played enough? Yeah, I didn't really have too much of a problem with Nene, but his playtime was kind of all over the place, you know? Nene Sag. He really... I really wish that he got picked up by another team. Very promising Hitscan player. It really sucks. I'd give him, like, B, though. When Nene played, I liked him. It's just, he was never around Pepe hands. Exactly. He did his role, but never jumped out at you way too much. KSP. I know, despite me giving him all the praise in the world, some of you may be surprised to see I only have him A tier. I know, it's a shocker, right? I only have him A tier. Wow. ATP, the Valiant biased guy, only has KSP A tier? What? No way. But, I thought his Ash, I mean, you know my opinion already. I thought he was the best in the league. I know that's, like, heavily up for debate. His Widow's also, like, no joke, no laughing matter at all. Same goes for his McCree. I just felt like he was consistent on pretty much everything except for Sombra. Sombra's, like, the one thing I kind of knock him for a little bit, I would say. Because when the Valiant made him play it, it was just meh. But everything else, he always showed up. Like, if he was in the game, it felt like the Valiant were in a lot more winnable situations than when he was out. I don't know why Valiant didn't put Shax on Sombra and KSP on Reaper. I don't know either, but it's not up for us to decide, I guess. Corey. Oh, Corey. I miss you, dude. Another Valorant guy. I'll put him like B. He looked alright when he played. I didn't have a problem, but there are definitely some guys who were outplaying him. Not all his fault, because Washington were just awful, but I'd say he's still slightly above average from what I saw. Corey on V tier for Valorant. High C realistically. Not as good as Stage 4 Corey? Yeah, no way. It's hard to beat that. That was one of the most dominant DPS we've seen just ever in the history of the league. Corey, C or B? Yeah, for sure. Ooh, Glister, my boy. I know that London was, like, bad this year, and I feel like that kind of did affect how much he could showcase his potential, but I still thought through it all that he was, like, an A-tier player. One of the best counter snipers in the game. I saw him just, like, really do a good job of keeping really solid Widow players, like, happy in check. Like, he knows what he's doing. He's really good. I like Glister. So much untapped potential. 100% agreed. Like, Glister on a better team could be something really scary. So the Shock might unlock some sort of monster this year. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's pretty scary to think about. Glister under Shock coaching, like if he actually plays at a reasonable amount, look out, world. Look out. Glister was the only player to get more than one flooded deadlift this year. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. Not at all. Because, I mean, he's a freak. He's just an absolute monster with carry potential, as we've already long known about. And he played on a not-so-good team. So, definitely makes sense. I feel like London kind of, like, dragged him down a little bit. Like, if they won maybe a few more games, I'd maybe put him a little higher up. Oh, well. Exy. I'm going to put him S tier, slightly below Carpe. I know a lot of people are going to really hate me for that. I know some people will also agree with me for that. But I don't know. I feel like Carpe carried a little more. Just like comparing their two seasons. But Exy is still unbelievable at the game. I thought he was the best McCree in the league. He showed that he could play a mean Widow and keep up with some of the best, like your Carpes and your KSPs and all that. His Ashe wasn't that bad. I was satisfied with how Exy played. Exy best McCree, second best McCree was Carpe. Decay God tier. Happy New Year's. Gonna go get some food. Happy New Year, Keon. Enjoy your time with some food. I think Exy and Lip should be in the same tier. I disagree personally. Exy got big time cucked by his physical health. Yeah. He probably could have just had stats that were through the roof this year if he didn't miss so much time. Oh, Decay. Yo, Decay. That's another S tier. The question is, do I want to put him above Exy? Probably. Because that Tracer of his was so crazy. Those times he played Widow, he just blew my mind. I probably should put him a little bit above Exy. Decay's nuts. He's a nutcase. The Zarya one trick, Kappa. Decay off tank. Yeah, he's an off tank player, guys. He can't be on here. Decay S on off tank as well. Decay above Vance, in your opinion? I think that's fair. Hard carry and Rialto and 3-0'd like 3 teams because of Zarya. Decay above Carpe. Yeah, again, I'm a little biased with Carpe. I can totally understand if you'd want to put Decay above Carpe. But I like Carpe too much. Shockwave. Shockwave, my boy. Kind of like a Glister situation where he just carried his team to at least a little bit of relevance. A tier. I don't know if I feel comfortable with putting Shockwave A. I kind of think I'm going to put him like high B. Maybe like a little bit below God's B. Shockwave was really good, but I think that there were certain players who had their way over him. I'm sure that like team difference has a lot to do with it, but that was just from my observations. I like Shockwave a lot, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what Philly can do with him. Striker. Striker's an easy A tier for me. I can understand if you want to get on him for like mostly just playing Tracer, but that was his role. That's what he played, and he was good at it. The best at it. So I'm going to put Striker here. Might even put him above KSB, but I I thought that Striker was the most dominant tracer in the league. I thought that when he played Ashe, it wasn't bad at all. Like, if anything, it was really good. I'm pretty happy with how Striker played. But I don't quite think he's S just because it was, like, mostly tracer, you know? If he played a bit more of, like, the snipers and stuff, and he probably would have made S. But just because he mostly played tracer, I'll keep him here. Actually, I'm going to put him above KSP. He's like the top of A. Hitscan is so stacked. When Striker one-tricked Widow, he was insane, but he never really played it in the league, sadly. Stitch. Because you... Okay. With Stitch, I need you all to keep this in mind, alright? I'm doing this off the entire season. We're not just talking about the playoffs. So you have to kind of average out all of that stuff. Yes, he played really good in like those 4 or 5 games or whatever it was. But for the rest of the season, what did he really do? It was all just like average. You know? He stepped up when his team needed him, sure, but everywhere else, it was mostly just meh. He had some like okay games here and there. He'd stick out, like, there was like one game on Vancouver where he looked pretty good before Vancouver broke up. He had a few games with the Justice before they got really good where he kind of stood out, but I can't put him any higher than a B. I really can't. I think that would be unfair. Like, reasonably speaking, he shouldn't be any higher than a low B, I feel like. And that might even be generous. I might even just have to put him C, to be honest. Like, it depends on how much you value those playoff games, I guess. You know? I might put him B. Stitch low B or high C. Top of C. I'll put him high C. Oh, no, Linkser. Stay there. You're not moving. Godsby and Nene are better than Edison. Up for debate. What I think about his tracer? Nothing special. Yeah, I'll leave Stitch there for now. Think about moving him later. Now we're on to Diem. In Diem, I'm kind of like at a crossroads right now. For a couple different reasons. One, when he did play, he always looked good pretty much. Like, I know people get on him for the Dragons not really winning that much when he did play, but whenever he played just individually, when you watch him, he was really, really good. And he didn't even play that much this year. But every time he did get in the game, he looked really awesome. But again, it sucks because Shanghai lost a lot when he played. I don't know if it's just like a style thing or if they were just choking. I don't know what it is, but it was weird. Low A, not enough success when he played. Diem was arguably the best Widow in the Final Four. Absolutely. Just because, like, the success and, like, maybe not playing as much as some of these other guys, I'm going to put him, like, really high A. Maybe above Striker. Put him really high A. There. I like Diem a lot. He still has it, and I'm happy Shanghai brought him back. I'm really praying to the gods up above that he plays more this year. Not above Lip. I feel like some people give Lip way too much love. Why is Diem above Lip? I just think he's better. I know that Lip, like, they found more success, but I thought that Diem was better individually, personally. Yeah, if Diem got more playtime, he probably would be S. I don't know if Lip really was that much better. I know Lip started over... Yeah, Lip did start over Diem. But Lip started over Diem, but I just feel like it was like a playstyle thing. I give DM way too much love. I don't know, man. Yeah, DM is better off Sombra. I feel like everything else besides Sombra, DM's just better, in my opinion. DM was better than Lip, but Lip worked better with the team. I just think that DM's better. I know some of you guys are going to back me up in chat for sure. I'm going to move on, though. I don't feel like talking about this anymore, because just my opinion. It's whatever. It's just content. All right. Happy's going to be, I think, one of my... No, actually. Oh, there's going to be so many people in my A tier. I just realized how bad this is going to be. Holy moly. Oh my god. I'm going to have to move things around. I'm going to have to move things around big time. Oh my god. That's bad. I thought Happy was better than Season 2, though. I'm going to put him, like, right below Lip. Because I thought his Widow was just still really good. His Ashe maybe could have been a little better, but not bad. He was a reliable player for the Charge this year when he played Sniper Heroes. So I think you have to give him an A tier. Move Edison and Glister down, please. I don't know if I will. This is by far the hardest tier list. I don't, like, it's not even that it's hard. It's just, like, I feel like I'm going to place too many people in one tier and it's going to look awful. Shax puts the S in DPS. I like that. But the problem is Shax only really played Tracer, but... So he's kind of like in a similar situation to Striker, where I can't rate him too highly because of that. He played a little bit of Reaper and it wasn't anything special, so that tanks him down a little bit. But his impact was definitely felt, so I'll put him A tier. I'll put him A just because of the Tracer. I bet if he got to show off more on like the snipers and stuff, people would recognize him for those other characters. But when you have KSP, nothing much you can do about that. I think low A's fair. It's probably the most controversial tier list. Carpe puts the carp in carpet. The Valiant bias. Ah, yes. Shax fed a lot, though. But the trade-off was definitely there with the amount of, like, big plays he made. I might move him down to high B. More like here, I guess. Sure, why not? Anyway. Fitz. Fitz was really inconsistent. But the thing about Fitz is, like, he had ridiculous peaks. Like, he had some of the best peaks out of most Hitscan players besides, like, some of these S tier guys, I feel like. When Fitz was on, he could keep up with Ons. The problem is he couldn't get to that level all that often. So I feel pretty comfortable putting Fitz in the B range. His highs were S tier. Fitz kind of reminds me of Stitch in a way with his highs and lows. He was not that inspirational in the regular season at times. There were times where I liked his play, but there were other times where I was like, especially on like Sombra and stuff, like, meh. But when he was hitting those shots, he was really fun to watch. I feel comfortable putting him like high B, somewhere in this range. Maybe like here. Maybe below Shax. Possibly. I don't know. His EMP against Shock, though. BQB. Not quite S tier for me personally, but I was very satisfied with his like comeback player of the year type of story. A top tier Ashe in the league. I don't think his Widow is as good as some people say. I thought a lot of people kind of had their way with him at times. Still definitely not bad, though. And his Reaper I thought was the best in the Overwatch League, as I've already established. So I feel pretty comfortable putting BQB like in like the KSP lip range. Like, I think he's really comparable to KSP. I might even put him... I'll keep him there for now. SBB. SBB. I thought his Ashe and Tracer are both pretty alright. He's like... I don't know. Would you consider him more... I mean, Stitch probably had higher peaks, though, than Sabiobi. But Sabiobi was, like, a bit more consistent overall-wise. So I think that kind of evens out so they're, like, next to each other. I also might move Corey down after. B, probably. B. His McCree wasn't that bad, either. What the heck. I'll put him B for now. Great captain and super good. S tier. SBB better than Soon. I think that might be a hot take this year. Lip and Striker deserve S. I don't want to make my S tier too big. Do I watch XQC or Shroud? I watch XQC every once in a while. Oni God. Oh boy. Oni God got way too much hate, in my opinion. Like, just because he played on Dallas, and like, I know a lot of people were just mad because like he replaced Decay and stuff. I don't think some people properly like gave him a chance. Links are greater than Oni God? I don't know. He had the downside of being compared to Decay. Exactly. Hitscan, yeah, he's also at a disadvantage because Hitscan's a very stacked position. I'm going to give Oni like a C, though. I didn't think Oni was that bad, to be honest. He was in a really tough situation, but he made the most out of it, I think. Or at least tried to. With on high ping, too, as well. I saw him in T2 and he was super sick. Yeah, exactly. Bird Ring. That's a tough one for me. Bird Ring's a really hard one. Because I'm very tempted to put him S tier. Like, very, very tempted. I probably am. I think he probably just makes the cut. He's going to be my last S tier. High A is also a very fair argument to make for Bird Ring. I just thought the sheer carry. Like, oh my goodness gracious. He was hitting so many shots this year. He looked like he was in prime form again. This might have been the best year of his career, if anything. Even better than, like, Stage 1, Season 1 on London. Like, that type of level is what he was playing at. Just phenomenal to watch every single game. Gladiators might have been inconsistent, but he was always there showing up. He came up big in a lot of the games where the Gladiators were, like, in a winnable situation, you know? Like, against their rivals, like Valiant and all that good stuff. Can you make a tier list where you think players will look like next year? Probably not going to do that. One of the best Widows, definitely, Bird Ring. Can compete with basically anybody in the league. Jerry! Jerry! Yo, my boy. Jerry wasn't bad at all. We meme on him, but Jerry, no lie, wasn't a bad player at all. He was on Boston. Like, there's not that much he can do, I feel like. He tried his best. And besides, like, Myungbong, probably the best player on the team, I would say. He fell off the map, Jerry. Super Saiyan God, SSS, the best player in the world, Jerry. Whoa. Jerry, I'm going to put B, though. Maybe, like, slightly below Shockwave. I think Jerry's B tier, though. I think he's above average. Forward, put KSP in S tier, fake fan. Did I already do flex DPS? No, it's coming up next, actually, so you made it right on time. I see you with the follow, Naz. And last but not least, we have Hisu. And I think Hisu also makes the cut for A tier. Put Hisu there. Arguably the best Sombra in the game. I thought he made a pretty big impact on Philly when he played. I think he belongs in A tier somewhere. I might even move him a little higher, to be honest. I might move him above Edison. Hisu was pretty damn good. Easy A? Definitely an A. Where is Happy? Happy's right here. So, now I gotta try and clean this up because this is a mess. This is an absolute mess. So I'm really satisfied with S tier. I'm probably not going to touch that. No matter the order, I think these 5 guys would definitely make my S. A. I think these are all the guys I'd want here, but do I want to change the order? I know a lot of people are yelling at me for Lip, but I think Lip is a tad bit overrated, to be honest with you. Am I sure Ansa's number 1? No, of course not, but this is just how I'm feeling right now at the moment. I'm not try-hard in this stuff or anything. Like, I'm doing it for the content, you know? Doing it for fun because people wanted me to. It's kind of just an on-the-spot thing. Bird Ring is A for sure. I disagree, personally. Bacon Chad should be S. Yeah, I probably should put more people in D, so I probably will put, like, Bacon Jack in D tier. Just so Linkzer's not by his lonesome. I think that Hitscan is the easiest position to perform on a bad team. Valiant, Bias, Omega, lol. Damn. You want my head to get cut off or something, Grolu? Glister, Hisu, and Edison above Lip as well? I have a death wish if I do that. KSP was good. Shax was pretty good. Yep. Move Surefour down, maybe. I should probably move Corey down. Maybe like below Stitch. That's not that bad. I might put Soon. I think I'll put Soon there. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Oni got in Logic's B. I rate Leave over Jerry. Maybe I am overrating Jerry a little. It's not the end of the world though. SBB C tier. Are we taking Hanzo into consideration? Not really. I mean, you could if you want to on your list, but for me, I'm not really counting it that much. I'm trying to just focus on, like, the Hitscan characters, if you will. Move Oni in front of Stitch. Nah. KSP was underrated all year. He should have won a Roll Star. Now, that is something I agree with. I thought KSP should have won a Roll Star, but people make fun of me and say I'm biased, so whatever. I'm pretty happy, though. I might move SBB down just to make it a little more even. Put Oni above these two, I guess, or... Yeah, put Oni there. Yeah, I think that's pretty good for my standards. I know a lot of you are going to disagree and say this sucks and whatnot, but I'm happy with how it turned out. for something I did last second without giving much thought to at all. Edison and Hisu above Happy. No, I'm going to just keep it there, because I could just go at this all day, and then I'll never get to the flex DPS. Like, how many... I'm already almost an hour into this, and we haven't even gotten to flex DPS yet. So I'll leave it there. I'm happy. No pun intended there, by the way. But if you stop by just for the Hitscan or whatever, thank you for coming out. If you are watching this on the YouTube VOD after, thank you for watching. Now we're going to move on to flex DPS.